Hi guys, and welcome to the Wyfe Up podcast and YouTube channel. So I'm about to get started. Hello, and welcome to the Wyfe Up podcast. I am so grateful that you guys are here. Welcome back. If you've been here before, and if this is your first time joining in, welcome. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and spending time with me. So my name is Deetra and I am your host, and I'm really happy to meet you guys. So let me start with a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to spend time with the Wyfe Up Fam and to be able to, just spread your message, because ultimately everything that I do, I want to glorify you. And so I want to glorify you through this podcast. And I thank you that you use these lips of clay and give me the right words to say and the right heart to say. I love you, I praise you, and I worship you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So, like I said, welcome. And today's topic, how do I want to title it? It's titled, Who Do You Feed First? Your husband or your kids? And so let me get started by telling a little bit of a story. So true story, guys. I've been scrolling the internet. This happened a little over a year ago, and someone had posted this topic. And the question was, who gets fed first? So the question was posed to wives, and the question was, do you feed your kids first or do you feed your husbands first? And I'm going to be honest, I thought this is a no-brainer, right? Of course, people are going to say, A, I was shocked to know that a lot of women answered B. I was very surprised to hear that. And so just to tell you what A and B means, what I thought A would be and what I thought was a no-brainer was that you would feed your husband first. But no, a lot of people were saying that they would feed their kids first, and that, or they would say that the husband could fix his own plate. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, whoa. So this is an interesting topic for me, and I thought about that over the years. And so let me just explain to you why. And just FYI, for those of you that are listening to the podcast, I also have a YouTube channel of the same name. So if you are visual like I am, and you want to go, if you like to watch people as they speak, go on over to my YouTube channel. And please, if you like the content, please like and subscribe to both my podcast and also to my YouTube channel. All right, so back to the topic. Let's just get started on that. Do you feed your kids first or do you feed your husband first? And so what I mean by that is, let's say it's dinner time and everybody's hungry. It's like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or even 8 or 9 p.m. in my home. Let's just say dinner's ready. Do you get all the kids situated, get them their dinner and have them sit down, or do you fix your husband his plate first? And so I thought it was an easy peasy, lemon squeezy type of answer. And I was shocked. Because a lot of women, sorry, I'm taking this out of my pocket. A lot of women had the answer of, no, I feed my kids first. And so here are some of the things that I read, and it was flabbergasted. I read a woman said, no, I feed, and not just one woman, a couple of women had the same sentiment, which was basically, my kids are my kids for the rest of my life. My husband may or may not be my husband for the rest of our life, but I know my kids will, so I'm going to put my kids first. They get fed first, and then my husband gets fed first. I was like, oh, no. And so I remember now, a lot of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I say this, but bear with me. So there's a comedian, and his name is Chris Rock. And Chris Rock did a stand-up some years ago in which he talked about I want to say he was talking about his own father. And he was saying that, you know, they would sit down to dinner. And when they sat down to dinner, you know, the father, after everybody picked over the food, the father was going to make his plate. And he's like, where's the big piece of chicken? Now, that would mean either you got a big chicken breast or a drumstick with the thigh attached to it or something like that. That's considered big pieces of chicken, right? But the wing and the drumstick and the, is that a femur part? Like that right there, is not necessarily considered a big piece of chicken. But if you attach that drumstick with the thigh, that's a big piece, and the breast can be a big piece. Either way, you know, the father works hard and he comes to sit down at the dinner table and he's expecting, he's hungry. He's like, I'm gonna get the big piece of chicken and I'm gonna get, you know, whatever else. And then, but the kids already took their what they wanted, and the big piece of chicken is gone. And I believe Chris Rock was like, can a father that works hard and comes, provides for his family, takes care of his family, protects his family, can he not get the big piece of chicken? Like, what is up with that? And I remember, like, I got it immediately when he said that. And I thought, a man should get the big piece of chicken. If a man's about it, like he is taking care of his family, he works a job or works two jobs, and you know, that respect should be there that says that, oh, well, okay, well, you know what? My husband gets the big piece of chicken. Now, it's the wife's job to make sure he gets that big piece of chicken and tell those kids, don't touch, you can have some chicken, but don't touch that big piece of chicken because that's for daddy, right? All right, so that was part of Chris Rock's joke, but it really got me to thinking about that and how I do in my own house. And let me just start, if we're gonna start with the big piece of chicken, let me just start with that, right? I know I already started with who you feed first, but I feel like this is the perfect, sorry, I was looking for my water. This is the perfect segue into that. And so let's start with the big piece of chicken. Should the husband get the big piece of chicken? Absolutely. You have a husband that goes out to work every single day. You have a husband that takes care of the home. You have a husband that's the dad in the home, the father in the home. You have a husband that's the protector, right? Protector. So let me just break that down, right? So let's just say that you and your husband are asleep, and in the middle of the night, there's a noise. It sounds like there's somebody downstairs, but there shouldn't be anybody downstairs. And you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds scary. I hope nobody broke in the house. The very first thing you would do is what? I'll give you a multiple choice question. Is it A, call the police? B, go downstairs to see what's going on? Or C, nudge your husband or wake him up and say, babe, I think I heard something downstairs. The answer is C. You're going to wake your husband up first before you call any police, and definitely before you take yourself downstairs. You're gonna say to your husband, hey babe, I think I heard something downstairs. And he's gonna go, he's going, babe, what? I think I heard something downstairs. Like, I really think somebody's in the house. He's gonna pop up real quick and be like, you think somebody's in the house? And he's going to get whatever he has, whether it's a bat, whether it's a gun, whether it's, I don't know, whatever, right? Knife, I don't know, whatever he may have near him at the time. And he's going to go investigate to see if there's somebody in the house. That man can't get the big piece of chicken. And for some of y'all, like, oh, well, we don't really eat like that. I mean, he don't get the extra slice of pizza. I mean, he don't get the extra portion of steak. He doesn't get the extra, whatever it is that he likes. He doesn't get that? That's a problem. That is a problem, okay? And so let's just segue really quickly into whether or not who gets fed first. And I think by the tone of what I just said about getting the big piece of chicken, you could kind of gauge how I feel about who gets fed first. And so I know there's a lot of women out there that were single moms. I was a single mom of 5 kids. I was a single mom of 5 kids. when I met my now husband. Kudos to my husband. Babe, if you're listening, I love you so much for many, many, many different ways and many, many different reasons, in many different ways and for many different reasons. But one of the reasons why I love you so much is because you decided that you were going to love this woman who had 5 small kids. And you said, I'm going to love her. If I love her, I'm going to love them. And that's exactly what you did. And when people were just like, in your family, really, were like, hold on, wait. You met a woman that had 5. You met a woman that has 5 kids. What is wrong with you? Right? And my husband was like, I don't care. I love her. And if I love her, I'm going to love the kids. And that, that's a stand-up guy right there. But anywho, who gets fed first? So I'm not talking about if you are dating someone or if you happen to live with your boyfriend. I'm talking about your husband, that person that you're married to, that person that you said yes to, and that person that is now your husband in the eyes of the law, and even more importantly, in the eyes of the Lord. That person. So you agreed to marry this person. You agreed that he was going to be your husband, for better, for worse, sickness, better, for worse, sickness and health, for richer and for poor. That person that you said, okay, this is my person. So who gets fed first, right? My answer is going to be the husband. All the time. Most of the time. If you are married to someone that is abusive, obviously we went over that through the first and second episode, maybe even the third episode. But I'm just talking about if you have a normal marriage, right? No abuse going on of any kind. Like you're married, you might be hanging on by a thread, but nonetheless you're married. He gets fed first, right? So, that just translates because number one, he's a provider. I don't know if he doesn't have to be the breadwinner, but if he works and he provides, then that counts. You may make more money than him. I'm talking to somebody, I don't know who, but you may make more money than him, but it does not mean that he's not the head of the household. And does not mean that there was a bump in the night. You're not going to be like, babe, I need you to get up because I think somebody's downstairs. You're sending this man downstairs because you heard a noise and you fully expect him to take care of the family. That's a lot. But he can't get the big piece of chicken and he can't get fed first? No, ma'am. That doesn't work like that. That does not work like that. No, ma'am. And so, yes, your husband is to be fed first. Some of you baby mamas out there, you might be in a new relationship or might be married to somebody, and in your mind you're thinking, listen, I had these babies. They're always going to be my babies. They're not going to go anywhere. But this dude, we may or may not still be married in the next year, which is asinine, that way of thinking. You should be thinking, number one, when you marry somebody, it's till death do you part. So that means that man is supposed to be around for the rest of your life. Your children are not going to be around for the rest of your life. They're eventually, your son's that precious little son that you have, the one that you baby and treat like a king. That man is going to eventually meet a woman and he's going to move off with said woman. And if you and the woman are great and you get along great, you'll see him back again, not living with you, but you'll see them back again because the wife will make sure of it. The grandchildren will be in your life. You foster that relationship between you and her, right? Your daughters are going to be a little closer to you, but they eventually are going to go off with their men/husbands or the person that they marry, and they're going to start their own life. You may see her around, but the children are not always going to be around. So I'm sick of people saying that. That's just stupid. So if you're going to marry somebody, you're marrying them for life. Don't get married thinking, well, he may or may not be around, but my children are always going to be around. I already said that. That's stupid. Your children are not always going to be around. They're going to get their own life. They're going to move out of the house, and you're going to be there. Eventually, you're going to be there without the children because they're going to go on with their lives, right? And so I say that to say that because your husband is supposed to be there for the rest of your life, you're fostering a relationship with him. You're teaching him how you feel about him by saying, babe, what do you want to eat? Or are you ready to eat? Because you've already cooked dinner for him. Or if you didn't, you were about to, right? But within an hour of him being home, you're going to have dinner prepared for him, right? And then you're going to have some little sauce to go on the plate or whatever the case may be. He's going to eat. Now, he might not eat until you sit down, but he has his food first. And so hearing about celebrities that are filing for divorce, about to get divorced, thinking about to get divorced, it is something that, it makes me feel sad. But even if, everyone is getting divorced, it doesn't matter in the sense that, let me not say that. Even if everybody's thinking about getting divorced, that could be changed around, right? It can be changed around. And also, if you're thinking about getting divorced and you do it, you're actually showing your children that that's okay. Children need to see their parents together. Children are watching the wife and the husband and how they treat each other. Children are watching the job that they have with. And so when you think about that, right? So the children are there watching how mom treats dad. The children are there seeing the precedence that is being set. My husband works hard. So when I cook, I immediately, number one, I try and make sure that dinner is hot and ready before he gets home, but not too long before he gets home because I don't want to reheat it. I want it hot, fresh, and ready so I can give it to him. But if we were all sitting at the dinner table, and I have 6 kids altogether, I have 6 altogether. And if we're sitting at the dinner table and I have 3 sons that hungry as I don't know what, am I supposed to bypass my husband and then make a plate for my sons? Okay. For those of you that can't see this, go to my YouTube channel and have a look because I made a face. I made a face of, heck no. Give me 1 second. Sorry guys, I have to get my elderberry. But I apologize about that, but I didn't take it today. I want my husband to eat first. I make his plate first. There's a couple of reasons why I do that. Number 1 is respect. Number 2, with 6 kids in the house, if I allow my 6 kids to fix their plate before my husband, there's not going to be a lot of food left for him to eat. So we're not going to do that. He's getting a big piece of chicken. He's getting a big piece of vegetable and whatever else is on. He gets first dibs. So I make his plate. And then I gift it to him. And then my kids are allowed to make their plates, or might, depending on what I see in what I've cooked, it might be just enough to feed everybody. So maybe I'll fix everybody's plate so I know everybody gets a portion. Versus my 6'3" son who decides, you know what, I want like 6 pieces of chicken. No, sir. I'll fix your plate. But I don't fix any of their plate before I fix my husband's plate. So I know that some people are like, you know what? My husband doesn't even care about that. So some situations are different. Some husbands are like, you know what, wife, we don't have kids. I'm not worried about that. You fix your plate, I'll fix my plate. We equal, so on and so forth. Oh, okay. If that's what you guys really choose to do. But I really feel that deep down inside, when a man is being served by his wife, is there something special about that? So when I fix my husband's plate and I bring it to him, he feels special. He feels regarded. He feels like I'm paying attention to him. He feels like I respect him. He feels like I love him. He feels like he has a certain role and a certain place in the household. It's like, babe, here you go. And I enjoy cooking. I throw down in the kitchen. I don't play. So, I love fixing his plate. I love when he takes that first bite of food and he's like, baby, put your foot in it. Yes, I did. Thank you very much for noticing that. You know what I mean? I just really enjoy making dinner for him and the family and feeding him. And so, like I said, my kids are going to come and go. They're eventually going to get married, move out. And now what's going to happen now once everybody's out of the house and it's just me and my husband? Am I still going to be like, fend for yourself? Am I going to be like, I'm going to fix my plate first and then I'll fix yours? Or am I now going to try and undo all those years of bad habits and then fix his plate? But here you go, babe. And granted, there are some husbands that are like, babe, you don't have to do that. Honestly, there are some of the millennial-ish, younger millennial-ish and whatever comes after that are like, you know what, I don't need you to fix my plate. It doesn't matter what he says about him needing you to fix his plate. Do it anyway. Because he might not even know how much that's going to mean to him unless somebody does it for him. And so I'll talk about another situation. Let me ask you this. Let's just say you, wife, and your husband are at a picnic, barbecue, some sort of gathering where there's like a buffet style of food. Sorry, I almost swallowed that. And let's just say, they have chicken and ribs and potato salad and so on and so forth that are there. Wife first is going to go over and scan the food. First of all, you just got to the picnic, you parked the car, you walking in. Maybe you bought something. The wife is going to bring the cake over to the table to sit it down with the rest of the stuff. And she's going to scan the food, right? I don't know if whoever's listening knows this or not. Let me just tell you a little bit of a secret about Black people. We don't eat from any and everybody. And if it's a function that... first thing we're going to ask is who made the potato salad and who made the macaroni and cheese. We'd like to know that first, please. And if somebody's like, Pam made the potato salad. Now, I'm telling a little bit of secret. Some people don't, white people don't know this, but I'm going to let y'all know. If it's a work environment and we work with Pam and we've been in a bathroom with Pam, and let's just say I go into the stall, me and Pam go into the stall, the bathroom at the same time. I go in my stall, she goes in her stall. And we both go pee. And then, Pam gets up before I do. Or I get up before she does, right? And I wipe, flush, and then I go to wash my hands. Pam comes out of her stall and walks right past me and says, see you later, and she don't wash her hands. We have forever noted that in our head. We don't eat nothing from Pam. Nothing, not nothing. So when we go to this work barbecue, function, Christmas party, whatever, we're like, Black women are like, okay, so who made what? And no one even knows why we're asking. Oh, so who made this? Oh, okay, who made this? Sally? Okay, I've seen Sally wash her hands. I can eat that. But Sally has a cat and a dog, and I've seen pictures on her Instagram where Sally's cat and dog have been on the counters. So we're not eating Sally's stuff, and we're not eating Pam's stuff. That's real talk. I'm just being honest. So anyway, let me not get off the point. So we go to a Christmas party, barbecue, picnic, whatever function. Black women, Black wives are automatically going to be like, who made what? Once we find out, okay, this is what my husband can eat, this is what he can't eat. Okay, he'll have these ribs that just came off the grill, so whatever bacteria got cooked. Okay, and whatever else he have, because I know what I can fix for him. I'm going to go back over to my husband. And I'm going to say, hey, babe, are you ready to eat? Oh, baby, I'm probably about 15 minutes, right? He's already talking with the guys there, so on and so forth. He goes to sit down. And I might be talking with somebody else, but I remember in my head, 15 minutes, he said. So 10 minutes in, I'm going to go fix his plate. People are just like, oh. Like, they see me fixing 2 plates. They're like, oh, you hungry, huh? No, I'm not hungry. Not like that. I'm fixing a plate for my husband. Matter of fact, both these plates are for my husband because my husband has a healthy, hearty appetite. So, thank you very much. And then I'll get his plates because the plate, it's not so much that, it's just that these little styrofoam plates are about this big. So I have to make 2 plates. And I walk over to him at the appointed time that he said. And he's sitting down. He's like, oh, thanks, babe. I got everything for him. Everything that he would like and want and need. his silverware, or plastic fork and spoon or whatever the case may be, and he sits there and he gets ready to eat. And a lot of times he'll wait for me to get my plate before he even eats. And I let him know, babe, that's okay. I'm going to go. And he said, are you eating? I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm going to go back and get my plate. It's okay. I'll wait for you. Right? And I'll go back and quickly get a light plate or whatever. Because, again, I'm not eating the potato salad or the macaroni and cheese because I know who made it. But I might make myself some salad and a little bit of whatever the case may be. And I'll sit down next to him. And then we eat. I do not. Oh, if there's kids with us, depending on how old the kid is, if it's a younger child, I'll make their plate. But if they're old enough to make their own plate, they can go make their own plate. I do not go and do that. I will make my husband's plate, though. Okay? And I can tell you, I'm going to interview my husband here soon, probably next week, next Friday. But, I can tell you that he loves that. He feels so good, so special that I take the time to fix his plate. And I feel good doing that for him because I love him and I want to fix his plate. Now, don't get me wrong. We have been to functions before where he took the initiative and was like, let me fix my wife's plate. Because he'll see me talking to somebody else and he'll come over with the plate and be like, babe, I made you something. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And people are like, oh, But for the most part, I love doing that for him. And he loves doing it for me, but I love doing it for him more. You know what I mean? I just love serving him because I'm his wife. And I know if I don't do it, there's somebody else that's willing to do it. And I don't play those type of games. Okay, that's a whole nother episode. I'm not, But I want to serve him. I want him to feel special. I want him to feel catered to and taken care of because of so many things that my husband spoils me. I think it's a catch-22. He spoils me, I spoil him. I spoil him, he spoils me. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that I do. So I want to feed him. I want to fix his plate. Is he capable of fixing his own plate? Absolutely. Of course, he's a grown man. He can fix his own plate. But I choose to do it. I want to do it because I love him and I honor him. I respect him as my husband and I want to fix his plate. So he gets the big piece of chicken. He gets the plate of food. I feed him first at home before I feed any child. All right. And when we're out and about, if we go to any function, I go to fix his plate first. So I apologize. I have drops in my mouth that I needed to take. So also, some of the answers that I heard people say he's a grown man. He can fix his own plate. I'm not doing that for him. I've heard people say, again, like my kids come first because my kids are always going to be with me and my husband is not. You're already thinking wrong, sis. If that's your mindset, you're already thinking wrong. But I understand the mindset, especially if you've been a single mom for a long time. I understand that mindset. Don't get me wrong, I do. Because if you let a man come in your life, you probably dated one or two people and like, okay, he's already gone. But my kids, but listen. If you choose to marry this man, it's one thing to date a person and try and do it. But if you're marrying that person and that person is your husband, all bets are off. Your husband gets fed first. Those kids will understand that. And your sons get to see this. Your daughters get to see this. How you honor your husband. How important is that? And then if you're at this picnic, gathering, Christmas party, barbecue, or whatever the case may be, let me tell you something. All the men at the place are going to see. And it may cause some tension because now all the men see you, wife, feeding your husband, and they're looking at their wife like, how come you didn't get my plate? And the wives are looking at you kind of crazy like, really? You had to go show off and get your husband's plate. I'm going to get my husband's plate. Why not? Because he can get his own plate. Don't treat your husband like that. He can do a lot of things. But why wouldn't you do it? There's no prerequisite that says you have to do it. But why won't you do it? It's time for y'all to wife up and stop playing. There are levels to this. And if I tell you how much my husband loves and adores and spoils the blank out of me, you'd be like, how, girl, how? Because I know how to treat him. I know how to make him feel like a king. I know how to give him his just rewards. I wife up. I know how to wife up. Let me show you. Keep listening to this podcast, yo. I'm telling you, this is the way to go, right? I love my husband so, so much, and I want him to know that I love him and appreciate him. So there's little things. That's it, guys. Bye for now. So I'm still recording, of course, right? But you guys get what I'm saying. Level up, like Sierra said, but wife up. Wife up. Start treating him like the king that he is, like the husband that he should be. Let him take his rightful place as the husband. And there are some things that we can do as wives. I apologize. Every time I'm sitting, I feel like every time I'm sitting here, like my stomach gets compressed, and I ate this and it just made me burp a little bit. But you understand what I'm saying? Let your husband feel like he's special. Like you do that enough and he'll really appreciate you and want in turn to make you feel special. That's really the law. That's really the way that it goes. 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm saying? A + B = C. That is a real thing. Unless you're really married to a jerk. Unless you're really married to a real piece of work. But then even still, you turn that over to God. And God will turn all of that around. God will turn all of that around. Like real talk, guys. Real talk. That is what God does. I'm living proof of it. And so I just want to share that with everybody. Like there's certain things you can do, and your husband, and eventually while God's working on you, he'll work on your husband and he'll turn everything around. In a very short period of time, you can have this marriage that's like this. Because I'm going to tell you, that's what every wife wants, is a marriage that's like this. What most women dreamed about getting married their entire life. And then when they meet this guy, Prince Charming, or the husband, or whatever you want to call him, when they meet Mr. Right and things start getting rocky, it's like, oh, maybe he wasn't the one. Maybe we need to get divorced. It's harder than I thought it was going to be. Marriage is only hard when you're trying to do it by yourself. Seriously. Meaning when you're trying to do it on your own accord, that's when marriage is hard. But honestly, marriage isn't hard. Marriage is fun. It really is. It's so much fun. I love my husband so much. Like, honestly, to this day, and we've known each other for 18 years, and to this day, he can still make me blush. We could be across the room from each other. He could look at me a certain way, and I'd be like a kid, like a teenage girl. He still makes me feel like that. Listen, you want that. You want to have a marriage like that because it feels so good. Every woman wants that. Every woman wants that wedding and to have that marriage where your husband respects and love and adore you, and you love and respect and adore him, and the two of you are best friends and you are doing this life thing together. That's what every wife wants. I didn't say every woman, I said every wife. If you got married to a man, that's what you got married for, unless you did it for some other reason. But for 98% of us women get married for that right there. And then when things aren't going quite right, you're ready to toss it all away. Don't do that. Subscribe to this podcast. I got tips, and I was going to say tips and tricks, but I don't like that word tricks. I don't have tricks. I have tips, right? I know how to do this thing. I figured it out. I cracked the code. I cracked the code. 18 years I've known my husband. And we've gone through a lot of stuff. When I turned everything over to God, things started changing. And there's things that I do, things that God does, and there's things that I do. And I want to share that with you guys. I want to help you turn your marriages around, because this whole Wyfe Up movement, that's a strong thing. And again, like I said before in one of my other podcasts, because this world is against marriage, because there are things that are against marriage. I'm gonna quickly talk about that. The Black Lives Matter movement, not Black Lives Matter. That's awesome, right? I'm talking about the movement. I'm talking about the website. I'm talking about how they said they're trained Marxists and how they are against the Western nuclear family. They want to deconstruct that. And I'm like, wow. So basically you want to deconstruct husband, wife, children? But that's what God established. You're saying you're against that? And just FYI, they recently changed their website. They removed that from their website, but you can go online and find it. There's people talking about it in YouTube, and in case you really, really want to see it, I took pictures. So I could definitely post that if anybody really wants to see that. It's a Trojan horse. It's a Trojan horse. And so Black Lives Matter, of course, all Black Lives Matter. That's a whole nother conversation. But Black Lives Matter. But you're not going to deconstruct the nuclear family. You're not going to be like, I'm wanting to take fathers out of the home. We've already seen what that looks like. I'm not going to go off on that tangent, guys. You get what I'm saying. And so I fight for marriages. And so there's things that you need to do. You need to wife up. Let me show you how. That was basically all I really wanted to say. And like I said, and also feed your husband first. Make him feel special. If you have a husband that's like, no, babe, I don't want that. Do it anyway. Because he might not know he wants it, because he might not have seen it be done. Or he might not want to make you feel like you have to do it. You don't have to do it. Do it anyway. Make him feel like a king. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. And in turn, you got a good husband, he'll make you feel like a queen. So, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.